presentation of Fox Sports.
We are the Fox. We are the West.
The Rangers offense has shown signs of versatility lately, and last night scored runs in numerous ways with everyone lending a hand. In his return, their young slugger blasted an early two-run shot that turned out to be the difference. Later, the leadoff man hit a three-run homer and put the Astros away for good. Tonight, the task gets tougher with Dallas Keuchel on the hill for Houston, opposite Texas native Andrew Cashner from Tropicana Field. Well, this is Rangers baseball presented by AT&T, and it's coming to you tonight from St. Petersburg, Florida. We are inside the Trop for a second night in a row. Middle game of this three-game series, the Rangers and the Astros battling for the silver boot and doing it in the state of Florida. Great to be with you once again, folks. Welcome into Tropicana Field. I'm Dave Raymond alongside Mr. Ranger Tom Grieve. It was a wild one last night. 12-2 the final score. This Rangers offense has shown us at times on this road trip, Tom, that they can be versatile and they can be explosive.
Well, they were explosive last night for sure. That's the most runs they've scored on the road since 2015, and it really was a team effort and a lot of fun to watch. Joey Gallo back from concussion protocol, hit number 36. Long high fly ball to right field. Shin-Soo Choo had 3 hits. He hit a home run. He knocked in 4 runs. He's been hot lately. Elvis Andrus had 4 hits in the game, 2 more doubles. He leads the major leagues with 12 doubles in the month of August. Adrian Beltre, 3 more hits, 3 more RBIs, and Nomar Mazara had a hit to drive in a run, man in scoring position. The Rangers had 7 of those last night. That's the most they've had all season. The Rangers and Astros have played 14 games this season. Very interesting to look at the first 7 compared to the last 7. The Rangers lost 6 out of 7. They've won 5 out of 7. And the statistics behind it have been pretty dramatic. They're scoring more than a run and a half more per game. Their batting average is 50 points higher, and their earned run average is almost 4 runs less. So they've played much better baseball the last 7 than they did earlier in the season.
And they can win this series with a victory tonight. It's going to be fun. A rematch of a great pitching duel that we saw earlier this month in Arlington. Cashner, Keuchel going after it tonight. We'll put those two and that rematch in our spotlight when we come back. Again at Tropicana Field here in Florida. Site for this series between the Rangers and the Astros. This is the middle game of our series. As we mentioned earlier, a rematch of a great pitching matchup we saw back in Arlington in mid-August, and Dallas Keuchel, Andrew Cashner, they both dazzled that first night.
Yeah, Andrew Cashner overall has not had success against the Astros, but his most recent start was a very solid start. He's 4-2 with a 2.81 ERA in his last 8 starts. One of those was this start against the Astros. 7 innings, 6 hits, and only 2 runs. Unfortunately that day, he was matched up against Dallas Keuchel. Dallas Keuchel has been pitching very well in his last 3 starts. He's had 7 starts since he came off the disabled list with neck discomfort. And in his last 3 starts, he's given up 3 earned runs in 20 2/3 innings. One of those starts was this start against the Rangers. 6 2/3, 6 hits, and only 1 run.
Fittingly, those two in our Shiner light blonde spotlight before this one tonight. A couple other guys who like to steal the spotlight. Adrian Beltre, Carlos Beltran, a couple of great veteran hitters on these teams with good numbers against tonight's starting pitchers. Brought to you by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. By Budweiser, not backing down since 1876. This Bud's for you. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Getting ready for the middle game of this 3-game series here at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. That's right, the Rangers and the Astros displaced due to the flooding and devastation in South Texas and in Houston specifically from Hurricane Harvey, Tropical Storm Harvey now as it is known. Not unprecedented for teams to be moved and series to be moved. In fact, the last time this happened, it was the Houston Astros who were affected. They played the Cubs in a series at Miller Park in Milwaukee after Hurricane Ike. That was 2008. The Indians and the Angels the year prior, due to snow in Cleveland, they had to play at Miller Park in Milwaukee. And then you had to go back to 2004. Marlins and Expos moved to Chicago, U.S. Cellular Field because of Hurricane Ivan. So it's happened in the past. It will happen, no doubt, again in the future. No one likes it. It has been a stressful couple of days for everyone, in particular on that Astros side. But there are a lot of individuals on both sides certainly affected by this terrible storm down in South Texas. But we're happy to be playing baseball. That's the good news, and I hope it's a diversion for everybody back home, wherever that indeed may be. Let's take a look at our Southwest starting lineup tonight for the Texas Rangers. One game under 500. You mentioned last night, Tom, Shin-Soo Choo back in that leadoff spot again today. Beltre has been gobbling up left-handed pitching. Trying to clean up nearly 400 against lefties this year. The rest of it looks very similar to last night.
Well, they'll have to face one of the best left-handers in baseball, and that's Dallas Keuchel, who's been pitching very well. We'll look at our Ford pitch arsenal for Dallas Keuchel. He throws a lot of fastballs. It only averages out at 89 miles an hour, but that's a very deceptive number. He has great sinking and tailing action on it. He throws a lot of sliders. That's a strikeout pitch for him. He has an excellent changeup. This guy really knows how to pitch. He's the definition of a pitcher. Doesn't depend on velocity. He depends on guile. Behind him will be George Springer in center field. Derek Fisher gets the start in left field. Josh Reddick is back in right field against the right-handed pitcher. Alex Bregman moves over to third. Marwin Gonzalez is at short. Jose Altuve will play second base. Yuri Gurriel is at first, and behind the plate, the veteran Brian McCann.
Well, Shin-Soo Choo will endeavor to lead things off tonight for the Rangers. Well, last night, the Rangers 7 hits with runners in scoring position. And that was easily a season high last night, and a very welcome sight for this Rangers offense, a team that in Oakland had just 3 hits with runners in scoring position. Swept in that 3-game series in Oakland. A great win last night, 12-2 the final score, and Dallas Keuchel throws strike 1 in there to Choo to get us started tonight.
Well, if Dallas Keuchel is on his game, get used to seeing that part of the strike zone being hit by his pitch. The corner on both sides of the plate. There's 2 in a row. That's the name of his game. It's not overpowering the hitter with velocity. It's just surprising him with excellent location and a wide array of pitches.
A long look in as Choo waits. And Choo wouldn't chase that one.
Tried to do the same thing, only make it 6 inches lower. Tried to get Choo to swing at it. Choo's pretty good at not swinging at pitches out of the strike zone.
Well, last night, 3 for 6 with a home run. Stays alive at 1 and 2. Drove in 4 runs yesterday. Did strike out a couple of times. But it was another great game. This one at the top of the order last night for Choo, and a continuation of what has been a very good road trip. 361 average on this long 3-city trip. Tackles 1-2. Well, Choo's made him work a little bit. Let's see what Choo has done in the month of August. And very productive. And that one just held onto by McCann. That was impressive. Well, snow cone grab to complete the strikeout.
That was a good sinking fastball. He really tried to hit the inside low corner in that hole at bat. That was a tough one to lay off of because it was right at the edge of the strike zone and it was sinking. The only surprise was that McCann was able to catch that foul tip. And again, the catcher doesn't see the foul tip and move his glove and catch it. He has his glove there to catch it, and it just happens to go in his glove.
Now Elvis and Andrews tried to check up that swing. He could not. Chris Siegel, our first base umpire, brings him up with strike 1. Well, you see a 4 for 5 night last night for Andrews. And continues with a great trend for him, which is hitting in this ballpark. I was hearing you in the pregame show talking about ballparks that you like to play and we like to hit. Some of them just, I don't know, you see the ball better, whatever. The optics of the ballpark work for you. Elvis would say this one works for him.
Yeah, this one at Cleveland probably worked pretty well for him. Oh, wow, that was a strike.
Now look at his numbers here. 32 games, a .336 average. It's 125 at bats. This year he is 10 for 19 in this ballpark. He shoots this one right back to Keuchel, who is a Gold Glove fielder on the mound and handles that one beautifully. 2 up, 2 down for the Astros left-hander.
Keuchel is not the kind of pitcher that when you go to the plate, you're worried about velocity, you're worried about being overpowered. And from the side, it probably looks like he's not throwing that hard. He's got pretty good changeup, pretty good slider. But then when you get up there and you see his stuff, the frustrating part is you just don't get a good pitch to hit. Everything's on the corners, and then you get a little impatient. You help him out by swinging at a bad pitch. His ball sinks so much that you get what you think is a good pitch. You take a good swing at it, it sinks, and you hit a ground ball. Just a very savvy pitcher and a frustrating guy for a hitter. One, not a strike, but he's just not going to throw many in the center of that strike zone.
Keuchel, an all-star this year, Cy Young Award winner in 2015. And he gets Mazar to bounce it to the left side of the infield. Bregman hustling it over to first in time. Completes the 1-2-3 inning for Dallas Keuchel. So the Astros lefty off to a good start. Now we'll see what Andrew Kashner has tonight. Rangers and Astros fans out here in St. Pete, Tampa area, taking in these games. Let's take a look at the Astros starting lineup. Springer, Bregman, Altuve at the top of the order, and you can see Bregman continuing a real long hot stretch for him. Gurriel, McCann, Carlos Beltran, the DH, trying to leg one out yesterday. Marwin Gonzalez and Derek Fisher, the left fielder, rounded out.
I will take a look at Andrew Kashner tonight. After the pitch, we'll show you his Ford pitch arsenal. A lot of fastballs, 63%. Most of them are 93 miles an hour and sinking. Good changeup, good cutter, and a good curveball. Mixes up an equal amount of pitches other than his fastball.
He gets a weak pop-up on the second pitch of the game to George Springer, one away.
And we'll finish up that arsenal. You see the cutter, he throws that about 88 miles an hour, a little less than his fastball, throws it 13% of the time, and he also mixes in a curveball. So good assortment of pitches, but basically if you're a hitter, you can feel pretty comfortable that you're going to get a 93-mile-an-hour hard sinker at some point in time in every at-bat. That's his bread and butter pitch.
Well, Bregman tees off for the first one he sees, lines it out to Joey Gallo. 3 pitches, 2 outs, and a great start for Cashner.
And Bregman's been hot. He's had 3 3-hit games in his last 5 starts. The Rangers defense is delivered to you by DeMontron RV. Carlos Gomez is in center field. Joey Gallo and Nomar Mazara flank him. Elvis and Rubnet up the middle. Adrian Beltre's at third. Mike Napoli's at first. And the hot Robinson Chirinos is behind the plate.
Altuve, not one to mess around either at the plate, takes one low. Altuve, look at those numbers. .355 average, best in baseball. We were talking last night what he has done against lefties and then against righties, and how his left-handed numbers really have brought him down. Just a .331 average against lefties, but he crushes right-handed pitching.
Did you say, but he crushes right-handed pitching?
Yeah. 360.
Like he's struggling against those lefties.
Well, he's 30 points lower against lefties. If you want to get him out,
yeah, if you want to get
cross
him out,
your fingers.
Yeah, you're going to have a hard time.
364 against right-handed pitching. And he takes strike 3 called.
You will not see that many times him taking pitches like that.
Oh, Andrew Cashner, sharp out of the gate tonight. First inning, both very sharp. Now the Texas Rangers and the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation are proud to join Major League Baseball in an effort to help victims of the devastation caused by Hurricane Harvey. Join us by visiting youcaring.com/MLB supports and donate to the American Red Cross. All proceeds will be used for relief of the victims down in Houston and in South Texas after this really difficult last week. Adrian Beltre leading things off here in the second inning. Keuchel, who was a strike throwing machine in the first inning, just misses that time. It's 1-1 to Beltre. Keuchel with a strikeout on the first of Chu and then a couple of groundouts. Now Beltre said enough. Brian McCann and Keuchel having a little trouble
agreeing on what pitch to throw, I guess. Little tapper foul. 1-2. We saw that a lot last night with Gaddis behind the plate. Boy, Evan Gaddis and Mike Fiers got to the point where it was almost contentious, it looked like at times, but they eventually figured it out. 1-2 pitch to Beltre. Adrian at .316, 16 home runs, 66 RBIs. Bounces this one toward third base. Bregman charging and throws him out. 1 away.
Just another at bat where you just get frustrated because you get nothing to hit. And if you want to see something that is kind of telling, watch the Fox tracks toward the end of every at bat and see how many of the dots are in the strike zone. In the first 4 at bats, there's been a couple in there, but they've been sinking, not like they've been meatballs right down the middle of the plate. Most of them are right on the edges, and most of them are on the corners or at the bottom of the strike zone. And if he misses, that's where he misses, a little off the plate. We'll see how many at bats there's a dot somewhere near the middle of the strike zone.
You see the numbers there for Joey Gallo. And the note that he has walked in 8 straight games. He gets ahead here 2-0. He's seeing fewer and fewer strikes, but to his credit, he's swinging at fewer and fewer of those pitches out of the zone. Two and one.
We'll look at the first inning and the 3 strike zones. There's the ones to chew. There's one in the strike zone, but it's low. One to Elvis. That's the best pitch, and it was on the outside corner. There's the one to Mazzara. Both of them were out of the strike zone. Adrian had probably 5 pitches. None of them were around the strike zone. Here's the 3 to Joey Gallo. And he's being very careful with Joey Gallo. So it's just a perfect example of you can have huge success in the big leagues with average stuff, good movement, and pinpoint location.
Gallo pulls it down the first baseline, and Gurriel will take care of it himself. 2 away.
There's a pitch that was up, but it was about 5 inches inside. It's amazing how many outs he gets without throwing a strike. And most of them are too close to take because they're right near the edge of the plate. No active pitcher has a better ground ball fly ball ratio than Keuchel. No one has a better ground ball percentage, 66% than Keuchel this year. So it's not a surprise that after the strikeout there's been 4 straight groundouts.
He is retired all 5 he has faced so far. Here is Carlos Gomez, and he'll turn one foul. Really amazing numbers for Keuchel. You mentioned the very high percentage of ground balls. When he came back from the disabled list, initially he struggled and he wasn't getting the ground balls at quite the rate he's accustomed. Lately, how about this last 3 starts? Over 71% ground balls. That's almost impossible.
Well, when you look at the pitches and the command he's got, these are pitches that are hard to hit in the air. Even if you go up there saying, okay, I'm not going to hit a ground ball, I'm going to try to lift the ball in the air. I don't care if I get a hit or not. I just want to hit the ball in the air. It's still not easy to do because they're all sinking and they're all down at the bottom of the strike zone.
Well, he's gone 0-2 on Carlos Gomez. These 2 former teammates in Houston. Gomez was hitless last night in 5 tries. And he strikes out swinging. Second strike out of the night for Dallas Keuchel. He's got 2 perfect innings under his belt tonight. For the unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Chris Sale, well, his first player in Major League history to 1,500 strikeouts in less than 1,300 innings pitched. Dylan Bundy, 10-plus strikeout games in August. That's more than any Orioles pitcher has had in the last 10 years. And Clayton Kershaw almost back from injury. And Dodgers, no doubt, will welcome him back. Not that they necessarily have needed him lately. Dodgers at 91-39 this year. Well, to get one of the best pitchers in baseball back soon, and Reddick leading things off here for the Astros. Takes a ball. It's 1-1.
Andrew threw 7 pitches in the first inning. Don't remember ever seeing Altuve take 3 strikes. But the last pitch he took was 97.6 miles per hour, according to MLB.com. He saved his best velocity, and that's probably why Altuve couldn't pull the trigger on it. Surprised him with the 3 or 4 miles an hour extra.
Now the 2-1 to Reddick.
Good pitch. That ball's 94 miles an hour with late, quick movement that just dart. Watch it right at the end. Dart to the outside part of the plate. That's almost impossible as for a hitter to hit that. So is that. I think Reddick's saying, thank you, I've seen enough. I'll try my luck the next time.
Boy, that one at 96.
That's velocity, location, and movement all in one. If you want to see the 3 components of an unhittable pitch, there it is. So that's a Dallas Keuchel pitch, only about 7 miles an hour faster.
I thought the start these two have had here tonight looking pretty good. Yesky Gurriel now, and he takes strike 1. Gurriel just a shade under 300 for the year.
It'd be a shock if he takes 2 pitches in this at bat.
Lines that one over first, and there's the first base runner of the night for either team. Gurriel will head to second base, and he's got a stand-up double.
Well, Gurriel hits a lot of doubles. That's his 36th double. He was tied for 7th coming into the game. Elvis has 36 doubles as well. Didn't hit it all that well. Just kind of sliced it down the line.
So Gurriel out there at second base. And it brings up Brian McCann, left-handed hitting catcher. And he takes a strike run to the outside corner. McCann did not play yesterday. Good power, 13 home runs. And he fouls this one up into the seats. Good crowd again tonight. This is going to be better than yesterday's.
Yeah, it does look bigger. What did we have yesterday? Between 3,500 and 4,000? It's over 4,000 today. If you love baseball, you love watching Major League Baseball, seeing the players, 2 good teams, can't beat it for $10. Very fan-friendly arrangement. 34.85 last night.
Of course, for $10, you could sit anywhere you want. First come, first serve. So fans get in here early to get autographs. They've enjoyed it. That one fouled away. McCann stays alive, 0-2. A scoreless start to this one. First time tonight we've seen either pitcher go into the stretch. Castor gave up the double to Gurriel. Jumped ahead of McCann. No balls, 2 strikes. This is where Castor is at his best, usually. Bouncing ball right side, and that one is through for a base hit. Gurriel slow to third base. They were waving him, but he will stay put.
I can't believe he didn't score on that. He must be hurt. That's a ground ball that Nomar didn't field until he ran toward the line, and he was fairly deep in the outfield. And yeah, Gurriel is feeling something. Otherwise, you don't have to be fast to score on this ball. See Gurriel. He definitely looks like he's limping.
In fact, he's going to get a visit. And AJ Hinch out there. There was definitely something going on there. You could tell when he was jogging toward third base. You're thinking, well, man, you got a ball in play, man. You're at second base. But he had no interest in pushing for home. Adrian Beltre right there, though, to help out.
Be the interpreter if he needs one.
To go back to earlier in the inning when he doubled.
Looks like he's okay there.
All right, then that was on the base hit.
Definitely not running well right there. Well, turn a double play right here and use that to your advantage.
Well, Cashner's very good at that. He's turned 19 of them this year. Beltran, designated hitter, 40 years old now, and I saw something last night that was stunning. It looked for a moment as if he had beaten out an infield hit. Numbers against Cashner in his career. Shoots this one out to left field. Gallo is there. Does have a very good arm, but it's deep enough. Gurriel's going to score easily on the sac fly. And so tonight it's Houston who takes the first run of the game. They lead 1-0. McCann still at first, and here is Marwin Gonzalez. Gonzalez was 0 for 4 yesterday, but 1 for 7 in their series against the Angels prior, so he's struggling a little bit at the plate. Some of the numbers for the year, though, very good numbers. 370 on base. The power numbers are there for him.
Yeah, the Astros have the most prolific offense in baseball, and he's second on the Astros in home runs and first in RBIs.
Both those career highs for Marwin Gonzalez. Switch hitter who they use all over the place. They'll use him in the outfield, use him at shortstop. Played both yesterday. Today got the start at shortstop. 1-2 the count. Now these are the Astros average leaders, and that's where they are in the American League. Look at that. First, fourth, 11th, 16th, 18th. And what you're missing there is Carlos Correa, who's no longer qualified with his time on the DL. High fly out to left field. Right there for it is Gallo. Inning is done, but the Astros draw first blood tonight on the sacrifice fly. We go to the third. third inning. And college football is back, and it all starts Friday on FS1. Number 8 Washington taking on Rutgers. Then Saturday Maryland battling number 23 Texas. And Sunday a little more for you. Texas A&M and UCLA from the Rose Bowl on Fox. Mike Napoli ready to go here in the third inning, and he takes a strike from Keuchel. Napoli 195 for the year, but 27 home runs. And he has fared okay against Keuchel in his career. One ball, one strike on Napoli. Yesterday 0 for 4, but with a walk. Trying to snap an 0 for 17.
Keep watching that Fox tracks, and remember, the closer it is to the middle, the better it is to hit. And raise your hand when you see a good pitch to hit.
Keuchel with 2 strikeouts and 4 ground ball outs in the first 2 innings. He stays alive, 1-2. Keuchel came in with an 11-2 record on a 258 earned run average. And really the story for the Astros is that's a guy they need and want healthy at all times. He's been on the disabled list a couple of times this year. Otherwise, no telling what the numbers might look like. Had a little trouble with a pinched nerve in his neck, stiffness in his neck on occasion. Bouncer left side of the infield, cut off by Bregman. He's been busy over there, and he takes care of Napoli for out number 1. Time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with Dana Larson. All right, thanks, Dana. 1-0 here. Astros on top. And it gets Rougned Odor to the plate now. Odor has had trouble with Keuchel over the years. He's 3 for 30 against him. Looking at the updated wild card standings in the American League. 2 teams, Baltimore and then the Angels, a game back. Kansas City and Texas 3 back. Seattle, Tampa Bay right behind them, 3.5 back. Everybody in it.
Now you would think as a hitter right here you're going to see a decent pitch to hit. It's 2 balls and no strikes. See if he throws something that looks like a good pitch to hit right here.
Odor bunting, but Keuchel quickly off the hill. We talked earlier about his Gold Glove status as a pitcher. Showing it off right there. I mean, made that look very routine.
Yeah, if you're going to get a bunt, then you've got to get it past the pitcher, closer to the third baseline. You can see where the shortstop is. Well, actually, it's the third baseman. If you bunt it down the third baseline hard, it's a base hit. Unfortunately, Rugi bunted it too close to the pitcher, and it's a simple play for Keuchel.
I like the idea.
Yeah, I love it when guys try to take advantage of that situation. It's a base hit if you can get the bunt down. It just shows, you know, over and over that it's not that easy for a big league hitter to get a bunt down. Rugi's a pretty good bunter. He just didn't get that one down. Some guys try it once or twice, don't have any luck, and then forget about it.
1-0 pitch to Chirinos. That one catches a corner to even the count at 1-1.
Based on the pitches he's thrown, that looks like a great pitch to hit. At least it was middle of the plate height-wise. but still, it's right on the corner and it's tailing away.
Trinos with a career best 12-game hitting streak coming into play. Shoots this one deep down the right field line, but foul, and the count is 1-2. Robinson hitting .400 on this hitting streak. A couple of home runs, a double, a triple. I think one of the other numbers, maybe the number that jumps out the most during that hitting streak, is he has 8 walks. So he's 16 for 40, but with 8 walks. He's been getting on with great regularity. He strikes out swinging here, and it's another 1-2-3 for Dallas Keuchel. Oh, he's looking very smooth early on. Scenes from back in Texas, down in Houston and its surrounding areas in South Texas from Hurricane Harvey and now Tropical Storm Harvey, and of course concern for so many people. The Texas Rangers have gotten together some ideas, and they are going to be donating a lot of money to the cause. 10% of all ticket sales previous and going forward from this weekend series with the Angels will be donated to Hurricane Harvey relief efforts. Also 10% of concessions and 10% of all merchandise sold at the ballpark. They're donating the proceeds from the Texas 2-split 50-50 raffle to the American Red Cross. Ownership has pledged at least $1 million in hurricane relief. There are a number of initiatives the team is partaking in right now to try and do their part to help those suffering so much right now down in South Texas. As we get going here in the bottom of the third inning, Houston leading 1-0. And Derek Fisher fouls off strike 2. So fans, if you're thinking of coming out to a ball game and you've been looking at the schedule and considering what games are left, and should you not come? Well, make it a priority this weekend. Come out. They're big games, important games. The Angels in town, very significant games for the wild card chase, but then you're also helping support the cause. Is a pitch to Fisher right in there for called strike 3.
A good pitch at 94 miles an hour. Fisher probably thought it was going to be inside. That's where Robinson wants it, but it comes right back on the inside corner and catches the plate, and Fisher knows it. Look at the movement on that ball. Boy, that's just impressive. 94 miles an hour.
Cash looking good. 3 strikeouts so far.
The only ball that's been hit hard was a breaking ball that McCann hit in the right field, a ground ball. And he had to really hit that accurately to get it between Napoli and Odor. They were both almost right next to each other, one way behind the other one, but he hit it hard enough to get it right between them.
Springer shanks another one foul, and he's in a hole 0-2. He's got 2 good pitches over the heart of the plate. But missed both. He popped up in the first inning. 0 for 1. And this is the second time through the order now for Cashner. Springer was 1 for 3 last night. Very dangerous hitter. And he shoots this one to the right side. Out of play. Springer an all-star this year for the Astros and ranked among the best in the American League in so many offensive categories. Second in the league in runs. He scored 92 runs already this year. He's 29 home runs, good for 10th in the league. He's 7th in on base, 6th in slugging, 5th in OPS. But he takes strike 3 looking. And that's the 4th strikeout tonight for Cashner. All 4 are looking.
Well, he's had pretty good location. This one just nips the inside corner, but he's throwing hard too. With that kind of movement and that kind of location, it's going to result in a lot of takes. Frustrating at bat for Springer. He swung at a pitch and fouled it off before that. It was about 6 inches outside. He just wasn't ready for that pitch. And even if he wasn't going to do much with it.
Now Bregman flied out in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. This ball lined out to left field, and right there for it is Gallo. And so that's a 1-2-3 for Andrew Cashner. The big fella from Conroe's dealing tonight.
Take a look at the location of the pitches. Look at the Fox tracks after each at bat and see where the balls are. So far there hasn't been one ball all the way in the strike zone in the second inning. Let's try the third inning. Not one ball in that at bat. Not one ball in that at bat. And not one ball in that at bat. So 6 batters, 6 straight outs. There's been some pitches touching the outside corner, inside corner, the bottom of the strike zone. There hasn't been one pitch in the last 2 innings that was all the way in the strike zone. There's another one that's not all the way in the strike zone. So at least through 3 innings, you're watching Dallas Keuchel at his absolute best. And the way he gets hit and the way he'll give up runs is if he starts to get the ball near the middle of the plate. There's one. That's the first one in 7 batters that was all the way in the strike zone. And he bunted at it. Now, he didn't know that's where the pitch was going to be. But as fate would have it, he had decided to bunt and got probably the one good pitch in the last 3 innings that was all the way in the strike zone.
Oh, 2.
Back we go.
Well, so far tonight for Dallas Keuchel, it's been the same formula. Number 1, don't give him anything to hit. Number 2, he gets 2 ground balls and 1 strikeout per inning. That's just the same formula each time. And there is his strikeout in the 4th inning. He gets Chu looking. Second time tonight that Chu has struck out.
Well, going to get the call on that pitch. He's going to be tough to hit because he's already showing that he can throw it there every time. Sinking right as close to the bottom of the strike zone as you can get and still be a strike. The frustrating part for a hitter is even if you swung at it, it's just going to be a ground ball.
Well, here is Andrews, and Elvis showing like he might want to bunt, and he takes a strike. We saw Odor try, saw Chu attempt, and now we're seeing Andrews give a little glimpse that he might give it a shot. Elvis 0 for 1, bounced back to the mound his first time up. 4-hit game yesterday, hitting better than 400 on this road trip, but running into a good one tonight in Dallas Keuchel. This one lined out towards center field. There's your base hit. So the Rangers have their first base runner of the night.
Elvis is swinging the bat so well. If one guy was going to get a hit, you'd probably pick Elvis. 11 for his last 20. But if you're looking for a strike, this is not it. This is a pitch that's high and outside. But it's probably easier to hit that pitch than it is those balls sinking right below the strike zone. That was a good high ball hitter.
So the potential tying run on, and he has very good speed. The Rangers with their best RBI man, Nomar Mazara, at the plate.
Really spot, if you really had good bat control, you could slap a bunt down the third baseline and have a pretty good chance to get a double. Not necessarily a bunt, but like a swinging bunt. They used to call it a butcher boy.
One and 1 to Nomar Mazara. And with a shift that's on out there against Mazara, there would be nobody home. Bregman, the third baseman, is hugging the second base bag. He'd be close for a shortstop under normal conditions. Mazara works himself in front here, 2-1. There you go, Bregman up the middle there on the left side of second base. He's the only dude over there. Well, there's a line drive into left field.
Get by it.
Picked up by Fisher.
That was not the right throw to make.
Nope, Andrews heads to third, and it allows Mazara to go to second base because Fisher. Interesting. I'm not real sure what he was thinking about Elvis Andrews.
I think what he was thinking was he wasn't thinking. I think he knew the minute he let go of that ball that he'd made a mistake. Now that was a slider that caught a lot of the plate. And it was a good approach by Nomar. Didn't try to pull the ball. Looked like he was trying to go back through the middle, and he got a good pitch to do it on. And I think the minute Derek Fisher let go of that ball, he knew exactly what he did. That's why if you're an outfielder, you have to be saying to yourself, what am I going to do with the ball if it comes to me? Who's the runner? Who's the batter? If it's a hard ball, left to me, right of me, have it planned before the ball's ever hit. You don't ever want the ball to be hit to you and then try to decide what to do with it. Otherwise, you can do that. No play at third base. And as soon as he threw it to third base, it just allowed Nomar to trot right to second base. They called this a double, but I don't know how you call that a double. He was going to stop at first base. The only reason he went to second was because the throw went to third. But
that will be a single before the night's done.
I would think so.
Single and then second base on the throw. You can see the Mazara pausing between first and second. The only reason he decided to go was because of that throw. 2-0 on Adrian Beltre. We need those difficult decisions to others. Well, big spot here for Beltre. Rangers trailing 1-0. But 2 men in scoring position for him. It is 3-0.
Well, you might as well walk him on purpose. He is not going to give him a good pitch to hit. At least not on purpose anyway.
Beltre's hitting 6 straight, a couple of home runs.
I'm swinging right here if he gives me a good pitch. Got the infield back. Almost any kind of a ball except a pop up to the infield is going to score a run. I'd be surprised if it's a strike.
It is not. There is ball 4. So Beltre is on. The bases are loaded for Joey Gallo.
All that Keuchel did there is waste the energy that it took to throw 4 pitches instead of just motioning for him to go to first base.
Hey, Saturday, a Major League doubleheader on FS1. First, the Cardinals battle the Giants. It's a 2:30 Central Time start. And then, as you know, the Angels and Rangers, a 6 o'clock game on FS1. Mike Trout, Adrian Beltre, 2 of the greats in the game. And you can get it on FS1 or on the Fox Sports Go app. All right, bases loaded here. Andrews third, Mazara second, Beltre at first. Our TXU Energy power player to watch, Joey Gallo. How about that? 11 home runs in August. Only Donaldson and Machado with more, but they did it in quite a few more at-bats than Gallo has needed. He has been smoking hot. 1-1. Gallo is homered in 2 straight games here. July 23rd. Our final game here against the Rays earlier this year. And then last night at the opener, yesterday, just had come off the disabled list. And he warned us, well, it might take a game or 2 for me to get back in the rhythm, get comfortable up there, but he homered in the second at bat. One.
All 3 pitches in the exact same spot. That's where patience comes into play for a hitter right here. You just want to hit the ball so hard with the bases loaded in this kind of a game, but at the same time, he's not going to give it to you. Be patient. Joey's done a pretty good job. He's taken 2 out of those 3 pitches.
Tied for second in the American League with 36 home runs, and he fouls this one off.
And there's another one that, again, it's hard to lay off it because it moves so much at the end. It was much closer to the corner until right at the end when it tailed right in on his fists.
Gallo grounded out in the second inning, 0 for 1. There's a Ranger at every base. And it's a full count.
And you say to yourself, okay, he can't throw that same pitch because if I take it, it's ball 4 and we score. He's got to throw me a strike. I mean, that's almost the way you're going to think as a hitter. So let's see if he does throw you a strike, or whether he'll keep it in there and count on you to swing at it.
3-2, and that one misses low. What an eye by Joey Gallo.
That's a great at bat.
He swings at that 100 out of 100 times going back to like April.
Probably does. You know, Keuchel's staring at the dugout like he wanted that pitch. You know, at some point in time, you've got to try to throw a strike instead of try to throw it out of the strike zone and get someone to swing at it. I mean, technically, that pitch could be called a strike, but it's barely a strike. And if anything, I would say that Mark Wegner has had a pitcher's strike zone today. Oh, and bases loaded like that in this kind of a game, you got to throw a better pitch than that if you want to call it a strike, my opinion, instead of trying to get the guy to swing at a bad pitch and then hoping a borderline pitch gets called a strike. With that kind of control, throw it 6 inches higher.
Well, that's a great at bat by Gallo.
Absolutely.
Bases loaded walk ties the game at 1, and they're still loaded now for Carlos Gomez. Gomez 2 for 10 against Keuchel in his career, with 5 strikeouts coming in, and he struck out in the 2nd inning. Carlos has fallen on some hard times lately as well. 0 for 5 yesterday. He's just 1 for 14 on this trip. But he hits this ball hard to center field. That's a base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes Beltre. They'll stop Gallo at 3rd. A 2-run single by Gomez, and the Rangers lead it 3-1.
There's finally getting a good pitch to hit and ripping it. Big at bat by Joey Gallo to get the walk. And now Carlos Gomez gets a ball that never got inside like Keuchel wanted it to. And Carlos rips that ball in the gap in left center field.
Well, that's a big hit for the Rangers, and Gomez knows it. You're not going to get too many opportunities off Dallas Keuchel.
Oh, that's one of the few pitches has really been a good pitch to hit. You're right, Dave, and fortunately when he got it, he hit it.
So Napoli now 0 for 1. He grounded out in the 3rd. 3 runs in this inning. A couple of walks have factored in a very big way. 1 to load the bases, the other to force a run in.
Like to take advantage of this situation and have a big inning. Get 1 more right here. Man on 3rd, 1 out.
Yeah, watches a close one. That one a strike, and it's 1-1. Just as Gomez had been on hard times lately, the same could be said for Napoli. 3 for 31 on this road trip with a home run. And here, 2 balls and no strikes. Good power for Napoli, 27 homers. But it's been a frustrating year for him. Swings and misses. It's 2-2. Things were looking up in July. Had 8 home runs in July and looked like he might have really gotten himself back on track. And he even extended that into August, kept it going a little bit, but things have slowed down for him. At 155 in the last 26 games. Hits this ball a ton though. Out to left field. Fisher going back. It is gone! Napoli with a 3-run homer. It's a 6th spot in the 4th inning, and the Rangers have opened it up tonight.
Well, through 3 innings, Dallas Keuchel, we showed all the pitches. It was almost perfect. And then it changed a little bit when Elvis hit that high pitch for a single. Nomar got a hanging slider that he hit for a double. He basically walked Beltre on purpose. Joey had an incredibly patient at bat. He took ball 4 right at the bottom near the strike zone. Could have gone either way. And Carlos Gomez got a hanging slider and ripped it. And Knapp got his pitch and ripped that too. And all of a sudden, it's been a dramatic turnaround. 9 up, 9 down. Nothing hit hard. In this inning, a couple of ropes, a long home run, and 6 runs in. That is a dramatic turnaround.
Boy, 6 consecutive hitters have reached and scored, and now here is Odor. Both walks have come in as well, and that's huge. So don't expect a whole lot of opportunity against Keuchel. The Rangers, though, have really capitalized. And then won the count.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good at-bats in this inning. There's the pitch for Napoli, and just look where it is. First 3 innings, he never threw a pitch like that. This inning, he's thrown several of them, and the Rangers have jumped on every one of them.
This one hits softly up the middle and into Bregman's glove for the second out of the inning. Line out by Odor. He gets Robinson Chirinos to the plate. The Rangers will have sent 9 men to the plate at minimum this inning. Chirinos struck out to end last inning. Robinson 0 for 1. As we mentioned earlier, riding a 12-game hitting streak. Longest active streak right now in the American League. Longest in his career. That home run by Napoli, just the 11th this year allowed by Dallas Keuchel.
Yeah, for Knapp, it broke an 0 for 18. Carlos Gomez was 1 for 19 when he got his base hit. Nomar was 6 for 34. So the guys who had a little bit of a drought offensively have all come through this inning. Nomar, Carlos, and Mike Napoli.
Look at the home run leaders now in all of Major League Baseball. The Rangers with 1 more than the Astros. This one hit hard up the middle. That's a base hit for Robinson Chirinos. It's now a 13-game hitting streak. Ongoing career best for him.
Well, Robinson's seen his average go from the low 200s to the mid 200s in 40-45 at bats. Boy, what an inning. It was hard to see this inning coming, the way Keuchel threw 3 innings. But to the Rangers' credit, after they'd seen him one time, they had patient at bats, especially Joey Gallo. And then after that at bat, Keuchel threw some strikes, and the Rangers just jumped on almost every one of them.
Brent Strom out there to chat for a moment with Keuchel. 6-run inning. The night after which the Rangers scored 12 runs. They won 12-2 yesterday. Their most runs on the road since 2015. And today, trying to follow that up with another explosive performance. There's Chu 0 for 2 tonight with a couple of strikeouts. Gets this one on the ground, second base. And Altuve to a knee. Will throw out Chu. The inning is done, but the Rangers get 6 runs in the 4th inning. Some big at bats. Carlos Gomez with a 2-run single, and then Mike Napoli blasting the 3-run shot. It's 6-1 Texas. There you see it, a 6-1 Rangers lead as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Altuve, Reddick, and Gurriel in this fourth. Mike Napoli with a big 3-run homer to highlight the rally. Now after the long stay in the dugout, we'll see how Andrew Cashner does in this fourth inning.
Keuchel had to throw 36 pitches in that inning. But not only was he untouchable in the first 3 innings of this game, coming into the game, he'd only given up 3 earned runs in his last 20 2/3. So he was on a roll, and the Rangers just reversed that roll in the fourth inning.
Off the plate to Altuve, the count 2-1. Altuve struck out in the first inning. He struck out, watched 3 strikes, did not swing at any of them. Pops this one up. Foul territory, first base side. Not played. We found out just before coming on this inning. Doug Foster digging through the books back there, doing the research in the truck. Just the 5th time this year that Altuve had watched 3 strikes in an at-bat, and both of us responded the same way, surprised.
I wouldn't have thought that he did it 5 times. I would have given him maybe the chance that he did it 1 other time. He's such an aggressive free swinger. Although not like he was several years ago. A little bit, in fact, a lot more patient now than he was. 47 walks is not a huge amount, but it is compared to what he walked early in his career. He also makes great contact. He's only struck out 69 times. Good try. He laid off that one. That was a tough one. Cut fastball, slider, 88 miles an hour. Call it a cutter.
Cashner wasting no time between pitches. And he puts that one right on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. And I think Altuve had a good idea that that might have been a strike. He was on his way to first, but I think he knows it. 5th strikeout, all 5 looking tonight.
He's had a great fastball tonight. You see the glove and you see the pitch right there. Andrew, through 3 1/3, is on a mission tonight. Some excellent stuff he's featuring.
There's 1 strike pitch in there, and now this one lifted out to center field. Playable for Gomez. 2 away.
Well, exactly what you want to see in the 4th inning. Long inning. After your team puts up 6 runs, you got the middle of the order. Come out aggressively, throw strikes. 2 up, 2 down so far. Exactly what Andrew wanted to do, what he needed to do here in the 4th.
Now Gurriel, who had the double in the 2nd inning. Gurriel had that double, and then later looked like he was struggling on the base paths. 1-0. Bouncer, third base. High, slow hop, but Beltre with plenty of time to get Gurriel, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Andrew Cashner. The right-hander starting to cruise as we go to the 5th.
We head to the 5th inning here at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida, and it's time for our State Farm winning combination. The winning combination, the American League and the National League. And if you take all the shortstops in both the American League and National League, none of them have better numbers than Elvis Andrus in each of those categories. Elvis leading everybody. And I told Elvis, Tom, that last night you said he was reminding you of Michael Young. Elvis beamed with pride and said, when we were teammates, I tried to emulate everything that Michael did. If he hit a single to right, I tried to hit a single to right. And so now he says, maybe I am starting to be like Mike. He's still trying, guys.
I really think he is. I think he's become Michael Young. And it started last year when he hit 300. It's carried over into this year.
A little pop-up gonna fall. Interesting. Andrus gets away with a pop foul. Gurriel really not moving well over at first.
We saw Gurriel on the bases. He's just not running very well. That ball.
That's playable for somebody.
I don't know how to say it, but that ball goes up. If I'm the pitcher, I'm thinking that ball's got to be caught. I think if Keuchel thought that ball was going to drop, he might have sprinted after it himself. But Gurriel's obviously got a little bit of a nagging injury he's facing, and McCann, as a veteran, that's a long way for him to go to catch it. Just one of those balls, and under the circumstances, it dropped.
Chopper now shortstop. First opportunity for Marwin Gonzalez, and he takes care of his opposite number, 1 away. Hey, the Texas Rangers and the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation are proud to join Major League Baseball in an effort to help victims of the devastation caused by Hurricane Harvey. Join us by visiting youcaring.com/MLB supports and donate to the American Red Cross. All proceeds are going to be used for relief for the victims down in Houston and the surrounding areas in South Texas. It's such a terrible week down there. And there are many ways you can get involved and help. And Gurriel, enough is enough apparently for A.J. Hinch.
Yeah, I think that's all they needed to see. When he couldn't even attempt to go after that pop-up. He's just not healthy enough to be in the game. So he traded gloves with Marwin Gonzalez.
Well, that makes sense. Gonzalez is every man. He plays everywhere.
Show you that foul ball and watch Gurriel. This is way up in the air, and see Gurriel just can't run. That's as fast as he can go right now, and the ball falls. It's too far away from McCann, the catcher, to go after it. He gave it the best shot he could. So Gonzalez is going to move to first base. Bregman, I would guess, is going to move over to shortstop, and is that J.D. Davis maybe coming in to play third?
That would make sense. Well, that's Davis. So they have to reorder things a little bit here to compensate for Gurriel's obvious injury. Bregman will be happy to be back at shortstop, as we discussed yesterday. Definitely relishes those opportunities. I had fun today talking to J.D. Davis after we saw him pitch last night, Tom. He was fantastic in that scoreless effort last night. And we mentioned last night he was a pitcher at Cal State Fullerton, but he told me, I said, well, do you go down to that bullpen and mess around every now and then? No. He said, I hadn't pitched off a mound in 4 years prior to last night. But you would have never known it to have watched it.
No. Yeah, I looked down in the bullpen. I didn't know who it was, but I just assumed it was a pitcher warming up. It never occurred to me until we zeroed in on it that it wasn't a pitcher that was warming up.
Well, after the delay, first pitch smashed down to second base, and a great play by Altuve to take care of Nomar Mazara.
Altuve is not just an offensive player. He is a equally fine defensive player. Goes to his left, takes a little hop, adds a little flair to it, and makes the out.
Third baseman, Adrian Beltre.
Nicely done by Altuve. Now here is Adrian Beltre. Beltran with a big walk in the fourth inning. It was an unintentional walk. Never gave him anything close to the plate to hit. At the time, the Rangers had second and third, one out, but the walk loaded him up. Then Gallo, in the at bat of the night, drew another walk to score the first run. Now that's 6 straight pitches that have missed to Beltran.
He's thrown 81 pitches. I bet you 45 of them have been right where those 2 pitches are. If you made a little square to the bottom left of the strike zone and out of the strike zone, he's probably thrown 35 or 40 pitches right in it.
Three balls, no strikes to Beltran. And he misses on 4 straight again. So back-to-back innings. He's issued a 4-pitch walk to the Rangers' superstar third baseman. Hey, tomorrow's AT&T pitching matchup. Final game of this series. Nick Martinez will go to the mound for the Rangers. Colin McHugh takes the ball for the Astros. It'll be a day game tomorrow. Our pregame coverage will begin at 11:30 in the morning on Fox Sports Southwest. And then both teams, it turns out, we haven't made this announcement yet, but both teams will be heading back to Texas. The Rangers going home to Arlington. And the Houston Astros, so tickled to be going back home to Houston tomorrow, and they're planning to play the Mets at home over the weekend. Joey Gallo with a bases loaded walk has driven in a run. He is 0 for 1 today. Down 1 and 2. Gallo, since the All-Star break, 15 home runs and 26 RBIs. It has been a very real surge for him, even missing better than a week with injury.
Saw a note tonight that Joey Gallo has hit 43 career home runs among his first 95 career hits, which means he became the first player in history to have 40 home runs in his first 100 hits.
That is crazy. They come at a quick rate for him. 6-1 Rangers lead.
Time for our Ford game summary. We're going to look at Andrew Kashner, who has been at the top of his game. He struck out 5, and they all have something in common. There's 2 of them. There's 3 of them. And if we showed the other 2, you'd notice that all 5 of them came on sinking fastballs, and all 5 of them were looking. A great start for Andrews. Pitched 4 innings, hasn't walked a batter. He's only given up 2 hits. They came back-to-back in the 2nd inning. There's the 3rd, and it led to the only run against him.
McCann splits the outfielders. Gomez has to take this one off the wall, and McCann will have a leadoff double in the 5th.
McCann hit a pitch that's been a tough pitch for Astros left-hand hitters. That fastball tailing away to the outside corner or further away. Hit it pretty well for that kind of a pitch to pull it into right center field. Tip your cap to McCann on that one.
A single and then an error on Gomez. McCann out there at second base, and here is Beltran, who is driven in their run on the sac fly back in the 2nd inning. Well, McCann, the first man to reach for the Astros since, well, he had reached in the 2nd. Castro had retired 9 straight, rather 8 straight. And now goes 1-1 to Carlos Beltran, who had the sac fly. 14 home runs this year, 49 RBIs for Beltran, now 40 years old. Got a couple of guys in this game, one on each side. Adrian Beltre at 3rd. Beltran, current DH for this Astros team, both destined to one day be remembered and immortalized among the greats all time. This one lifted out to left field. And Gallo has room. 1 down in the 5th inning.
Joey threw behind the runner, threw a 1-hop strike to second base in case McCann wasn't paying any attention.
All right, our Kubota power stats. Andrew Kashner, look at his numbers against the Astros last couple of times out. 11 1/3 innings, 3 earned runs, 9 punch-outs, and that has not been a part of his playbook this year. That's a lot of strikeouts for Andrew.
We mentioned in the open to the show how well he pitched in that one game. His last game, he lost to Keuchel 2-1, but 7 innings, 6 hits, and only 2 runs. And he's backing it up with a very similar outing so far today.
Marwin Gonzalez, the hitter now. McCann out there at second. Marwin now the first baseman after the defensive change last inning. He's ahead here 2-0. Talked about it earlier. This has been a career year for Marwin Gonzalez. Career high in home runs and in RBIs. He has an OPS of nearly 900. A switch hitter, very versatile player. He's played in left field and in right field this year. He's played a lot at first, second, third, and short on the infield. I mean, they spread him out all over the place. And we talk a lot about utility players and those real versatile Swiss Army knife kind of guys. He might be the ultimate example.
Yeah, generally when you hear utility, you think of a guy that's not playing all the time, just filling in. But he's just a guy, he's a regular that happens to play a number of different positions. Add left field and right field to that. He's played 6 positions this year. He's been very valuable. Hard to find anything that he hasn't done well offensively. Runners in scoring position, he's hit over 360. Batting average overall is close to 300. Mentioned before, he leads the team in RBIs. Carlos Correa has been hurt, otherwise he was probably destined to do that. But still, based on who Marwin Gonzalez has been before this year, he's become someone different this year.
Pop up left side. Beltre giving it a good effort, and he'll make the catch right on the railing. What a play by Adrian Beltre to get over there and make the play.
Well, Adrian does the right thing. Well, he always does the right thing, but on this kind of a ball, you've got a better chance to catch it if you sprint to the wall. So he sprints and gets there, and then he can reach. See him put his head down and run. If you just drift and watch the ball and get there at the same time as the ball, you're probably not going to be able to make the play. But because he got there as fast as he could, then he could kind of wait just a split second, reach and catch it. Otherwise, you're on the full run, you smash into the fence, and you'd probably go flipping over the fence.
Now Derek Fisher. Fisher 0 for 1, struck out looking in the third inning. Can got on with a base hit and moved to second on the error. And since then, Cashner got Beltran and Marwin Gonzalez, and now can get out of the inning, no harm done if he can retire Fisher.
A good pitch count too for Andrew. This next pitch will be his 60th pitch in the 5th inning. Nice location. One side of the plate to the other. Started out on the outside, pounded one inside, went right back to the outside. 93, 94 miles an hour. We're talking about Keuchel at least through 3 innings having his best stuff. Andrew's right there with him. In fact, I give the nod to Andrew because he got more velocity.
0-2.
And right back in.
At 97 miles per hour. To your point,
I think that's the toughest thing for a hitter to counteract. A pitcher that can hit both sides of the plate, one right after the other. You just don't really know where to look or what to be ready for. It's tough to cover both sides of the plate like that.
Two and two the count. It's a 6-1 Rangers lead. All 6 runs came at the top of the 4th inning. Chirinos, just a word of encouragement, or maybe just a moment to slow Cashner down. Big right-hander in his 2-2 pitch. Missed by much. Cashner 6'5", 225 pounds, from Conroe, Texas. So we've talked so much about the storms that have ravaged South Texas and the Houston area, and Conroe, where he grew up. A lot of folks evacuated from their homes this last week. And he gets strike 3 called on Fisher. That is 6 strikeouts, all 6 called strikes. Cashner cruising through 5. Time for the Sonic Slam inning, brought to you by Sonic Drive-In. Our jackpot tonight, $1,000 plus dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Kathy Mitten of Plano is our contestant. So if a Texas Ranger hits a home run this inning, Kathy wins $1,000. If a Ranger happens to hit a grand slam this inning, well, it's an additional $25,000 for Kathy. Good luck. First pitch swinging, and Gomez bounces it down to third base. J.D. Davis fires across the diamond, one away here in the sixth inning.
Well, the Rangers basically bunched everything into the fourth inning. The first three innings were 3 up, 3 down. A walk in the fifth to Beltre, but other than that, no hits, and now the first out in the sixth. So everything around the fourth inning has been Keuchel very good. Fourth inning was the Ranger hitters very good.
Well, the man with the big home run in that 6-run inning. 28th of the year for Napoli. It was a 3-run blast. 1-0. Not easy to do, hit a home run off Keuchel. We talked earlier about how adept he is at getting ground balls. And you look at the score sheet tonight, Odor had the soft liner to the left side of the infield. That's the only out that was in the air. 3-0 the count. Everything else on the ground or a strikeout. And then, you know, it follows, or stands to reason then, that you're not going to see a whole lot of balls hit in the air at all. So for Napoli to get one up and hit it with enough to get it out against Keuchel, a rare feat indeed. And it's 3-1. Just the 11th time that Keuchel has surrendered a long ball this year. This one over the heart of the plate, and it fills the count to Napoli. So all the action was in that fourth inning. Outside of that fourth inning, the Rangers have had just one base runner, Beltre, with a walk in the fifth. Payoff pitch. And a swing and a miss. And Napoli strikes out, 2 away. All right, time for us to take a Chevy game break. Let's check in once again with Dana Larson. Boy, how about that? I mean, we keep seeing this. Thanks, Dana. Teams, you know, looking like they're a real threat in the wild card, and then tripping up. And Seattle with a little bit of a mess of that series in which they were swept. Still very much in the race, but opening up opportunities for other teams to make up ground on them. And the Rangers, one of those teams who could make up more ground tonight if they can hold on to this 6-1 lead. Oh, 0-2 the count on Odor, who is 0 for 2 tonight.
This will be Keuchel's 98th pitch. So if it's it for him, he's finishing strong. Started strong, finished strong.
Odor swings and misses at strike 3. It's a 1-2-3. Sixth inning for Dallas Keuchel, who gets himself back in order. Baseball is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer now during the Ford Summer Sales Event and see why Ford is the best in Texas. Yeah, that's the message. And it's been felt. It's been great here. The hospitality here in St. Petersburg has been great this week. So many great folks from all around the area and so many from Texas who have been here to support both these teams these last couple of nights. Been a very positive experience for everybody as George Springer leads off this 6th inning and turns this one toward shortstop. Andrews comes up throwing, and Springer is 0 for 3 tonight.
Oh, Andrew continues to pound the strike zone. 66 pitches, double the amount of strikes. 44 strikes, 22 balls. Been strong from the opening pitch of the game.
Well, the Angels will be in town this weekend to take on your Rangers. It'll be Friday, September 1st through Sunday. 10% of all ticket sales for this weekend's home series donated to Hurricane Harvey relief efforts. Ownership of the Rangers has pledged at least $1 million as well. The Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation donating proceeds from the Texas 2-split 50-50 raffle to the American Red Cross. There's a lot going on. And as we said earlier, if you've been entertaining the idea of coming to the ballpark, you couldn't choose a better weekend than this weekend to come see the Rangers. Try and help out all those folks in Houston and South Texas who have gone through this very tough week. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Two and one. I think worth mentioning the excellent work of guys like Josh Shelton, traveling secretary for the Texas Rangers. Derek Vigoa, the traveling secretary for the Astros, for certain. The work that they put in to make sure that all these guys, these are big traveling parties, 50 people basically. They got places to stay, they were taken care of, had accommodations for travel, etc. And they did it so smoothly under the circumstances. Really just remarkable how good those guys are at their jobs. Bouncer by Bregman to shortstop again, and Andrews with another chance, and he gets both outs so far in this 6th inning. 2 gone. That'll bring up Jose Altuve, and we take a Chevy game break. Once again, checking in with Dana Larson. Thanks, Dana. Boy, those Twins, man, they don't flinch.
Nope, they've been playing good baseball. Kind of coinciding with Byron Buxton, who's starting to turn into a pretty good player. So he's been a pretty good player, but hit 3 home runs in a game last week.
It seems like he's kind of settling in, getting comfortable in maybe in a similar way that we've seen this year with Joey Gallo.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he was up and down a little bit. Would go down, play well, come back, struggle. Struggle this year. It seems like right now he's starting to turn it around. He's one of those guys that even if he's hitting in the low 200s, the way he plays center field on a team with other good hitters in a contender, that can make a huge difference for you too. Just the defense he plays in center field.
Rays mascot Raymond here today, having fun with the fans. Altuve snaps that bat in half. The little bloop out toward right field is tracked down by Odor. Another 1-2-3 for Andrew Cashner in the rocket chair as we go to the 7th. Houston and South Texas from this last week. You can help people affected by Hurricane Harvey by visiting redcross.org or texting the word Harvey to 9099. By doing that, you make a $10 donation, and your donation enables the Red Cross to prepare, respond, and help people recover from this disaster. All right, well, here we go now to the 7th inning. Robinson Chirinos will lead things off for the Rangers. Dallas Keuchel out of the game. Joe Musgrove will be the new hurler for Houston. And Chirinos fights off strike one. There's Musgrove, 29th game of the year.
Now Musgrove has started the season in the rotation, struggled, and has been throwing the ball well out of the bullpen. Pretty good command, pretty good control. Not many walks. Good amount of strikeouts, almost a strikeout per inning. Mid-90s sinking fastball.
He's got news on Yesky Gurriel leaving the game. He's been diagnosed, or at least labeled, right knee soreness that caused him to lead this game early for Houston. That one got away from him a little bit. 1-2 the count. Chirinos with a base hit back in the 4th inning. He's also struck out. He's got good movement, but really running right now on Musgrove. 2-2. Another good crowd here tonight. Had about 3,500 here yesterday. Good fastball. That one with some hair on it there at 96 miles per hour. But just missed. It's a full count now on Chirinos. A little tight as well. So a lengthy at bat, a 6-pitch at bat for Chirinos, and he takes the walk.
You mentioned earlier, Dave, how well Robinson is hitting and how many times he's walking. He's combining hitting for average, walks, which over a pretty long period of time, a couple weeks, gives him an incredible on-base percentage over that time. He's hit .370 in his last 19 games with those walks.
Now Chu. Chu's had one of those tough days today at the plate. Struck out his first 2 times up, grounded out last time up. And yesterday was quite the opposite, a 3-for-6 night with a home run. Shoots this one out towards center field. Springer able to track it down. With 1 away, it'll bring up Elvis Andrus, and we take a look at our progressive upcoming schedule. Tomorrow we wrap this thing up here at St. Petersburg against the Astros, and it's back home over the weekend against the Angels. Big wild card implications with that series, and then it's off to Atlanta for the final interleague games of the season. You can see that new ballpark as well. Take strike one. It's an Atlanta team who's not had a real good year. Atlanta 57-72. 3rd in the National League East, well out of the wild card, as just about every team is in the National League. Big swing and a miss by Andrus. It's 0-2. Rangers' goals to get back to 500 with a win tonight. They're up by 5 at the moment. all of their work in the 4th inning. Outside of the 4th inning, the Rangers have had one man reach base, and that was Beltre via the walk in the 5th inning. This one out toward right field. That'll drop in, base hit.
Pretty nice job of hitting right there. Musgrove buzzed one right in on the fists, and Elvis shot it right back down the right field line. Nice inside out approach right there. You see the catcher's mitt, and there's the ball pretty much on the inside corner. Maybe not quite as much as he anticipated, but nice job by Elvis. His 2nd hit of the game. Elvis 12 for his last 22.
A 2-hit night tonight for him.
And Elvis was the one that started the rally in the 4th inning. Hit that high pitch well out of the strike zone into right center field for a soft single. 15 minutes later, the Rangers had 6 runs off Dallas Keuchel.
Omar Mazar now, he has a hit tonight, takes a strike. He's 1 for 3. Chirinos at 2nd, Andrews at 1st. Oh, 2. So Musgrove on in relief for Dallas Keuchel. Keuchel went 6 innings, allowed 6 runs on 5 hits, walked 3, struck out 7. Rangers so far tonight 2 for 2 with runners in scoring position. Seven hits with runners in scoring position last night. Now there's a comebacker. Musgrove will go to 2nd for 1. The relay to 1st. Ooh, in time for the double play. Jeff Bannister may want to take a look at that one, as it is on the field ruled a double play. We'll take a look ourselves. How close was it? He was out. That double play ends the inning. Rangers leave 1 man on. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. They stand and stretch in a 5-run game. All week long with Texas football days. Watch classic high school football games daily leading up to the first ever live doubleheader of high school football to kick off the season on Friday. Then Saturday, college football across the Fox family of networks. Go to foxsportssouthwest.com for details. Underway now in the bottom of the 7th inning. Josh Reddick, then J.D. Davis and Brian McCann. A great community here in St. Petersburg in the Bay Area, Florida. Everyone's so supportive, and of course have to give a hat tip to the Rays organization for allowing us the facility and all the staff who have taken care of us so well this week. It's been awesome.
Yeah, over the years, it's been very obvious when you come to this ballpark that the customer service here is top of the line. They've always been cordial, helpful, and gone out of their way to be fan-friendly. It's been a fun place to come. That's true up in the press box. I've had friends that come to games here say the same thing down in the stands, too. And so we've experienced that again.
2-2 to Josh Reddick. That one fouled off. He stays alive.
That was almost the first strikeout swinging.
Yeah, what a strange night for Andrew Castor. He's got, what, 6 strikeouts tonight, all 6 looking.
Every one on a fastball, which just really shows what kind of a fastball he's got tonight. He might as well have taken that for strike 3. That's the second ball hit just like that. Altuve ended the 6th inning by getting jammed, overpowered, and hit a little pop-up to root net, and that's the same with Reddick right there. That's just being overmatched with a fastball. Probably the best fastball that Andrews had all year. Just been dominating. 6 strikeouts looking and a number of balls hit poorly.
One out here in the 7th inning, and J.D. Davis for the first time tonight, and he bounces the first pitch he sees right to Adrian Beltre. 2 away. Time for a Chevy game break once again. Where's Dana Larson? Yeah, it's pretty crazy right now in this wild card division. A lot more to be sorted out in these coming weeks as the first pitch to Brian McCann on the dirt for a ball. I'd certainly envision a scenario where we get to the final couple of days of the season. Look at the loss column. That's the critical one. You can't make those up. Once you lose a game, you've lost a game. You could always pick up more wins. That's the scene right now in the loss column. Just misses 3-0 to McCann, who has 2 hits tonight.
Still a pretty good pitch count for Andrew. He's at 85 pitches with 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Has a chance to go back out and pitch the 8th inning. Good tailing fastball. I've seen that all night long from Andrew. He's had really good location, good movement on his fastball, tailing action. Excellent velocity as well.
And a liner that Andrews can't corral. He recovers, but he can't get it to first in time either. Off the bat, I'm thinking base hit maybe more. Then I thought, wow, he's going to make the catch. And then you wonder if he could possibly recover and get him. There's a lot going on there.
You know, I think Elvis off the bat anticipated this ball was hit harder than it was because he was getting ready to lunge for it, but it wasn't hit very well. Didn't hit the barrel of the bat, and so it kind of came at him like a changeup almost. And as he was getting ready to lunge, realized he didn't have to lunge and then couldn't catch it. And so that'll go as an error. Turned out to be a little bit easier play than Elvis probably thought it was going to be.
So McCann reaches again. Third time tonight he's been on. Carlos Beltran continues to try and go to left field tonight. Once for a sac fly. Last time lined out on a ball really well struck in the 5th. It's this one on the ground, second base. Odor's right there. And the inning is done. So on error, but the Astros leave a man. We go to the 8th inning tonight. It's 6-1 Rangers. Brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. 6-1 Rangers with the lead as we go to the 8th inning, and Luke Gregerson has come on.
Gregerson pitched in last night's ball game. His numbers on the season: 4.09 ERA, good strikeout to walk ratio.
His first pitch to Beltre spoiled, and Beltre, it's the first strike he has seen since the 2nd inning. Adrian grounded out of the 2nd, but then walked on 4 pitches in the 4th, walked on 4 pitches in the 5th. And hits this one back off of Gregerson's glove. A barehanded attempt at shortstop by Bregman, and he'll have no play.
Yeah, Bregman didn't have to barehand that ball. It's going to go as a base hit, but I think Bregman had a little more time than he thought he did. And the ball was actually rolling pretty hard to barehand it. Adrian hits it off the glove of Gregerson. Tough play to barehand. Actually going a little bit too hard. Takes a little hop on him. I think if he fielded it with his glove, might have had a better shot.
So the Rangers get their lead man on here. And Joey Gallo to the plate. Gallo's walk in the 4th inning drove in the first run of the game for the Rangers. That tied the game. They would go on to score 5 more in that 4th inning, getting all 6 of their runs tonight in one frame. Swing and a miss by Gallo, and he's in a, well, leaving it up rather at 1-1. Almost doubled the attendance from yesterday's game. yesterday, had 3,485. You can add a little more than 2,600 to that. 6,123 here tonight.
Very nice. Word of mouth.
Interesting to see what we get tomorrow afternoon in the finale. That may be dependent on Jason Grilli's ability to meet more people in the stands tonight. He has drummed up this attendance a little bit tonight over last night. Gallo strikes out swinging, one away.
Well, Joey doesn't have any hits tonight. He's 0 for 3, but he had a huge at bat back in the 4th inning. Bases loaded. He walked against Dallas Keuchel on a very close 3-2 pitch. Very patient at bat, and that got the Rangers' first run. After that would come a 2-run single by Gomez and a 3-run homer by Napoli. You can make a case that the big at bat was Joey's with 1 out, working that walk.
Yeah, ball 4 was a close pitch too.
Yeah, very close pitch.
Gomez 1 for 3 with that big 2-run single in the 4th. Carlos came off the disabled list on this road trip. Had that cyst removed from his back. Took a little while for the sutures to heal, and once he came back off the DL, he was immediately in the lineup in center field. And he's taken over out there since. One pitch. And 1 around. That's strike 2. It's a full group of youngsters here tonight. That group, the core, was here yesterday. It's grown a little bit. 2-2. The enthusiasm. The fellow standing up there in the blue shirt, he was one of the ringleaders last night. The fellow you just saw a moment ago standing up with his chest painted in like a Rangers jersey as a part of the group last night. There you go. They kept us entertained for a good portion of the game yesterday. 2-2. And it's a full count. Gregerson on here in the 8th. Musgrove gave up a walk and a hit in the 7th inning. His 1 scoreless inning of relief. Ball hit well center field. Springer going back. Long run, looks up, and that one is off the base of the fence. He can't get to it. Beltre will stop at third on the deep double by Gomez.
A good night for Carlos. He had a big hit in that 4th inning. He ripped one off Dallas Keuchel into center field for a 2-run single. Now he adds a long double that George Springer couldn't get to in right center field. Carlos trying to get back in a hitting groove after not playing for a while. Looks like he's starting to do it tonight.
So now with 2nd and 3rd one out, the Astros will bring the infield in on the edge of the green portion of the turf. There's Mike Napoli. 1 for 3 tonight. That was 1 though. It was worth 3. It was a 3-run homer in the 4th inning. Ferguson dumps another one in there, and he has jumped ahead 0-2. Rangers have led much of the evening. Winning all 6 runs in the 4th. Here, 6,000 and change, trying to get the wave going. Those that are here are enjoying it. Have fun with it. 2-2 to Napoli.
Well, they got it going.
Yeah.
Even in the outfield, there's not many of them out there, but they're making it. Best wave I ever saw was in Tiger Stadium. The lower deck went one way and the upper deck went another way.
Wow.
That was pretty impressive. And then I think it was in Tiger Stadium. It may have been at the University of Michigan where they did the slow motion wave. It went up very slow. That was pretty good too.
Bouncer, shortstop. Bregman gets everybody back, takes care of Napoli, 2 away. This was Napoli in the 4th inning. Our AT&T high-speed replay.
Well, we were talking early in the game how Dallas Keuchel was not throwing anything near the strike zone to hit, and the Ranger hitters needed to be patient. Well, they were in the 4th inning. They were patient, and then he elevated one to Knapp, and he hung it out over the plate, and Knapp hit a 3-run homer against him. So the Rangers against a pitcher that just looked untouchable for 3 innings. Blasted him in the 4th. Then he settled down and had a good 5th and a good 6th. Had 3 strikeouts in those 2 innings. But he couldn't handle the Rangers in the 4th inning. Walk Odor, it looks like. Well, they're getting to a pretty hot hitter right here with the bases loaded. Robinson singled and walked, came into the game 12 for 40, his last 40. Over 370 in his last 19 games. So he's licking his chops for this opportunity with the bases loaded.
Hits this one on the ground, 3rd base. A long, strong throw by Davis, and that will end the inning. So the Rangers leave them loaded in the 8th, but they lead by 5. 1 Rangers lead. Texas Rangers and the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation are proud to join Major League Baseball in an effort to help victims of the devastation caused by Hurricane Harvey. And we'd like you to join us at youcaring.com/MLB supports. Donate to the American Red Cross. All these proceeds will be used for relief of the victims in Houston and all throughout South Texas and the affected areas. We've talked a little bit about what the Rangers are going to try and do this weekend in the series against the Angels. There's also going to be opportunities not just for monetary donations, but bottled water, diapers, new blankets, toiletries, hygiene products, all these things that these hurricane victims will need. You can bring them to the ballpark this weekend. Be collected at home plate, first base, third base, center field gates on Friday from 4 to 7:30, Saturday afternoon 3 to 6:45, and then Sunday noon to 2:30. So again, just want to, I know a lot of people have been watching and looking on from a distance wondering how they can help and feeling helpless. Well, bring some items, some diapers, bottled water, blankets, all those things that can be used by the folks down in South Texas. We invite you to bring it on out to the ballpark this weekend. Andrew Kastner has been dealing tonight. The pitch count at just 92. It's 2-1 to Marwin Gonzalez, fouled away. Andrew from Conroe, Texas, mentioned this earlier. His family, his parents, right there in the middle of all the storms of devastation this last week. Foul, or rather grounded to the left side. Beltre is there.
Well, there's so many of these good fastballs from Andrew located on the inside part of the plate have just knocked the bats right out of the Astros' hands tonight. A lot of weakly hit ground balls, little pop-ups to go along with 6 strikeouts. And here's another one. Gets that ball in on the fist. Gonzalez just got jammed and sliced a little ground ball to Adrian. Only one to reach in the last 3 innings after the leadoff double by McCann was on an error. Retired 11 out of the last 12. Nine out of the last 10, something like that.
A little roller now to first base. And Napoli will feed him.
Another one.
Well, so that's 7 2/3 innings pitched so far tonight for Kastner. His longest outing had been 7 innings, which he had done 6 different times. So he is marching on into uncharted territory, at least in 2017 for him.
11 out of 12, that is, Dave. Want to check my math?
No, because
I need some help.
About the time we get it all sorted out, there'll be another ground ball.
Boy, most of these ground balls are not hit very hard. This is just a nice dominating performance. And it's not surprising. Andrew's been so consistent all season long for the Rangers.
One-0 pitch, and this one fouled away. Springer 0 for 3 so far tonight. And to your point, Kastner in his last 8 starts was 4-2, a .281 earned run average.
This will be the first time Andrews pitched past the 7th inning in a game.
One on Springer.
Another ball hit off the handle weakly. He's just pounding him with a fastball. Nothing fancy. Not like he's fooling him with off-speed pitches. He's just showing him a mid-90s fastball, one right after the other.
Well, and Springer pounding things too. His bat into the turf in frustration. It's been that kind of a night tonight. Well, it's been a good one tonight for the Rangers. A good one for Andrew Cashner. And I'm guessing Thomas manager is telling him that exact same thing.
Yeah, I think he's happy with that outing. Back-to-back nice pitching performances. Last night, Martin Perez went 7. Today, Andrew goes 8. Well, that was very nicely done. Hopefully, Nick Martinez had a good start his last start. Hopefully, he can follow it up with another one tomorrow. The Ranger bats can continue scoring runs.
Now to the 9th inning we go, and it was interesting after that conversation. Cashner looked like he was maybe a little more interested in finishing what he had started tonight. And as Chu lines this one out to left field, and that one is up against the fence. Chu goes for second base, and he's in there with a leadoff double.
Boy, Chu really hit that on the nose. That one just kind of ate up Derek Fisher. Not that he could have caught it, but it sailed over his head. I think it surprised him how fast it got to him. Talk about Chu a lot, his ability to hit the ball to left field, and not just for base hits. He can drive the ball that way. Had a 3-run homer yesterday with the straightaway left field.
So he is on. And the first pitch to Andrews, shot down the right field line, and that one into the corner. Chu home easily on the double by Andrews. 7-1 Rangers.
I don't know what else you can say about Elvis. Elvis came into the game. He moved up to 7th in the league in hitting. He's 3 for 5 tonight. He's got 13 doubles in August. That's the most doubles in the major leagues. And he just continues to drive the ball to right field. His other hit had another hit that he hit to right field as well. In fact, all 3 hits have been hit to the right side of second base.
Francisco Liriano in this 9th inning for the Astros, and he is the 3rd reliever that they have used. Joe Musgrove, Luke Gregerson, and now Liriano. A lot of Astros fans were concerned, this might be the word used, about the team's efforts to help the bullpen, help the starting staff at the trade deadline. And though they didn't get anything done of significance by the deadline, they did go out and get Liriano. Acquired from Toronto. So they added a left-handed arm to that bullpen, and that's not insignificant. It's not a team that needed a whole lot of help. It certainly didn't look like that from the outside. We don't follow them on a day-to-day basis, but boy, they have been blowing away the competition in the American League. A.J. Hinch has had the best offense top to bottom all year. Has had plenty of pitching, it seems.
I think what they need the most, and what will help them the most, is to get Lance McCullers back in the rotation and Carlos Correa back to shortstop. And they kind of get their team back intact. In the meantime, they got such a big lead, it doesn't really matter. But I think A.J. Hinch would like to get those 2 guys back, at least for September, to kind of gear up for the postseason.
The sounds of it earlier today, Hinch detailing Correa's remaining path to getting back to the team. He's about a handful of days away. Maybe by Sunday, possible that he would be back with a big club and participating. So Correa is eminently to return. You see the numbers for the Astros before and after. 17-21 since he went to the disabled list. Ball, 1 strike on Adrian Beltre. Mariano very much a veteran. Not a surprise. He and Beltre have squared off a number of times. 35 at bats. Beltre with 11 hits in that stretch, so a .314 average with a home run. So decent numbers against Liriano. Count evens at 2-2. Rangers have added a run in this 9th inning and now up by 6. How did he get his bat on that one?
He can cover the plate. There's not a spot on the plate he can't cover, and slightly off the plate, up, down, in or out, doesn't matter. He's got incredible hand-eye coordination to be able to do that.
Stays 2-2. Beltre with a hit and 2 walks in tonight's game. Now he came in, his on-base average was at .387, and he has been on 3 of the 4 times he has come up. We're but a day or 2 away from that thing getting 400. Full count now. Bottom of the 9th inning, it'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Houston. There's ball 4, so Beltre has reached for a 4th time tonight. That gets Gallo to the plate here. So he 0 for 3, but with a bases loaded walk in the 4th inning. There's our group. Gallo with that walk earlier today made it 9 straight games with a walk. How's this one away? 0-2. One lined into left field. That's a base hit. Around 3rd base, Andrews. Here comes the throw. It's cut off. 8-1 Rangers on Gallo's RBI single to left.
Joey's had another good at bat. In addition to the walk, comes in against a left-hander and lines one to left field to pick up an RBI. 2nd RBI for Joey in the ball game. The offense is really clicking in these 2 games. The Rangers have enjoyed playing at Tropicana Stadium. They swept Tampa Bay earlier in the season, and they've got 2 nice games going against the Astros to start this series.
They have scored 20 runs in these first 2 games so far, and held the Astros to 3. Takes up and away. Beltre at 2nd. Gallo at 1st base. 2 runs in the inning, only 1 out. Gomez has excellent career numbers against Liriano. Carlos hitting .478 against him, 11 for 23 with 3 home runs. And in a hole 1 and 2. Six runs in the 4th inning for the Rangers, 2 so far here in the 9th. Trying to take the first 2 games of this series, and they have fought back in this battle for the silver boot this summer. Not get off to a good start. They have played better lately. 1-2 pitch fouled off again. Look at the next 3 games for the Rangers. Tomorrow we'll wrap it up here early. Final game against the Astros here at Tropicana. Head home afterward, and then it's the Angels in town over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Big series against Los Angeles. Mariano's 1-2. It's off the plate. So a win here tonight for the Rangers would make this series, get them to within 1 game in this series. The record would be 7-8 against the Astros this year if they can hold on and win this one. That's after the Astros won the first 7 that they played, so it has turned around in a big way. Gomez strikes out swinging, 2 gone. All right, we were talking about those fans a little bit earlier. Let's check in with John Radigan. He has a little more.
Yeah, Dave, those guys are from Alonzo High School in Tampa. At least the core of that group is the varsity baseball team, and they were here last night. As the story goes, they were on the left field side, the Astros side, if you will, and then once the Rangers started winning, they moved around to the right field side. They were right behind the bullpen. Jason Grilli just loved their enthusiasm, started chatting with some of them, and Tom, I think it was that group you mentioned, I'd invite them back tomorrow. Well, Jason thought the same thing and then did it. He invited them back. They're here on him, and Alonzo High School is a good baseball school, also pretty good baseball fans up there, and they're all Ranger fans for life, they say now, guys, after they talked to the guys in the bullpen last night.
That's great.
That is so cool. Look at that.
I brought some extras with him tonight.
Sure did. They can come out again tomorrow. Tomorrow, of course, is right in the middle of the school day. If they do, we'll kind of keep it to ourselves. Maybe they'll have a period open in the middle of the day. Something like that could work out. Napoli already has a 3-run homer in this one tonight, and a chance here with a couple of men on to do it again. Beltre and Gallo out there in front of him, 2 away in the 9th. Good. Strike 3 called, and Napoli down looking, but it was a 2-run 9th inning for the Rangers. They do leave a pair. Last chance coming for the Astros. good night. Rangers have handled their business so far. Once again tonight, our cold hard facts brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. How about that? A 5-2 record last 7 games against the Astros, and they have outscored Houston 47-28 in the last 8 games, including tonight. So trying to go to 6-2. And they've certainly turned this thing around. That was after the Astros started the year taking 6 of the first 7 in this series. Alex Bregman leading things off for Houston, pops up the first pitch from Rodriguez, and that one up in the seats.
If you throw Alex Bregman a fastball for a strike on the first pitch, he's going for it. Lined a couple of balls to left field the first 2 times up early in the count like that. Alex Claudio's warming up in the bullpen, so he may get to pitch in this game just to stay sharp. Good fastball.
Just like that, ahead 0-2.
Andrew Cashner, 3 hits tonight. 2 of them came back-to-back in the second when they scored, and only 1 hit in the last 6 innings. 100 pitches, 63 strikes. It's probably his best start of the year. No walks, 100 pitches. First time he pitched 8 innings, and just a lot of dominating outs. Even though they put the ball in play, they were just hit off the handle weakly, most of them.
Bouncer third base. Bregman retired for the first out of the 9th inning. That'll bring up Jose Altuve. We talk about back-to-back really complete efforts by the Rangers. Yesterday and today might be as good as it has been for 2 consecutive nights. Offense solid, 20 runs. Pitching, defense has gotten it done. Only a very good Astros team with just 3 runs. Napoli with a big game today offensively. One ball, 1 strike on Jose Altuve, the best hitter in the American League. Rodriguez misses with ball 2. Fastball bounced on the ground to short. Long throw, not in time. Altuve can move too.
He can. Looked like a base hit the minute he hit it. Altuve was 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. There's not much more Elvis could have done on that ball. He fielded it, came up throwing, but look how quick Altuve is. He can run, boy. He get out of the box quickly, reaches full speed quickly. Elvis just didn't have a chance, didn't have enough time to get him.
Took him just an eyelash more than 4 seconds to get down to first base. 4.09 seconds. First pitch strike in there to Josh Reddick. 1 out, 1 man on. Reddick hitless in 3 tries. Couple of strikeouts. Pardon me, 1 strikeout. Fly out to center to pop up. Blues follow Reddick all the way to Florida. Fly ball left field. Gallo comes on. 2 away. Well, how about the night for Andrew Cashner, Tom?
Well, it's been very, very impressive what he did tonight. 6 strikeouts, all of them on mid-90s fastballs with great tailing action. Didn't strike out a lot in the last few innings, but it was just as impressive because he just pounded the hitters inside with his fastball and got a number of weak pop-ups, weak ground balls. And after 8 innings, he only gave up 3 hits and 1 run. No walks, 6 strikeouts, 100 pitches. I think it was Andrew's best start of the year. And he continues to be one of, if not the most consistent Ranger starter from day one. We've got Andrew throwing the ball well. Martin Perez is throwing the ball really well his last 5 times out. The starters starting to come together. Nick Martinez had a good start on this trip. Hopefully he'll be able to follow it up with a nice one tomorrow. Just have to stay consistent and put together a little streak. Minnesota's playing well, so as we keep saying, the next game is the most important game of the year, and you got to go out and do whatever you can to win that game.
Two and 1 to Davis, who grounded out of the 7th inning, is only at bat tonight. Came in late as a defensive replacement when Yulieski Gurriel had to leave with a sore right knee. Two-1. Now the Rangers just 1 strike away from winning this series and giving themselves a chance to sweep tomorrow. Nick Martinez, Colin McHugh, pitching matchup tomorrow. Fouled away, we'll do it again. The Rangers have had some success at this ballpark. You were talking about it earlier. Sweep of Tampa Bay when we swung through town. Neil Liebman, one of the Rangers owners on this trip, he was with the ball club when we swept in Tampa. I saw him here the other day. He said, oh, good luck you. I had to come back. Full count. The appeal. You take that long to get the appeal, you're not going to get the call. So it's a full count on Davis. By Davis here to keep this one going. There we go. Ricky Rodriguez, his 3-2 pitch, fly ball out towards center field. Gomez to his left. And the Rangers make it 2 in a row. They can go for the sweep tomorrow. 8-1 the final score behind 8 great innings from Andrew Cashner tonight. Well, stay with us. Dana Larson, Mark McLemore, and Mike Bassett have a lot to break down from this one, including a 6-run 4th inning and Andrew Cashner's big night. They'll also have all the player reactions.